Hi guys, I'm live again. Do let me know when you guys are ready to go ahead with the next topic. To go ahead with the next topic. Yeah, hi Asha. Hey Shahana. Hi Tathapi. So you can type your questions. Hey Nandini, welcome back. Hi Ranga. So we'll have more people. So by that time, you guys, if you have any questions related to the previous topic, you can just type in the chat box. Now the next topic is the voice of the organism. Yeah, Vikrant also has joined. So this actually we have covered in the intro, but then also it's a recap kind of. So and it is a needful topic. So we'll repeat. Few of the concepts will be new also, right? All of my devices do have this particular wallpaper. This is one of my favorite picture. You know, uh, iceberg. At the top, it is the conscious portion, and below it is the beyond conscious portion. And our goal is to just align this top portion with the below portion so that there is an automated life. Now, for example, many people ask this question often that what kind of extra benefit that you get other than not having medicines in this lifestyle. So there are n numbers, you know. For example, I have seen in my known circle, people actually spend hours morning in the loo. So it's a perennial problem for them day to day. Whereas that this supposed to be an automated process. The excretory process is an automated process. The moment you get up, you will find the pressure and it will be released within no time. So now when you become kind of unblocked in terms of your consciousness, that time the beyond conscious things will fall into places, because these all activities, the digestion, excretion, getting sleep, waking up from the sleep, you need not to put effort, because you are already programmed to do that. And the conventional lifestyle, the 1/4 or more than that of the time of the day is engaged in struggling with these automated processes. So all these initiatives will lead us to sync ourselves to make our life automated. How beautiful it would be if our life becomes automated, then we have a consciousness to spare. And that consciousness will see the emergence. You call it anything. You call it intuition. You call it gut feeling. You call it enlightenment. You call it the creativity, the overflowing creativity. So everything will be coming into places. That's the whole objective. Yeah, Tulika has joined. Right, I get few questions. Can autism be treated if we feed the right input in phase? See, the word treated is a kind of limiting word, but the state can be bettered for sure. The state of autism can be bettered for sure. The treatment needs to be evaluated, or the cure, if you mean to say, that needs to be evaluated case to case basis. All right. Okay, so watching porn does not allow for proper procreation with partner because of overstimulation. Comment. Yes, Nandini, I'd love to take this question tomorrow, because tomorrow there is a specific topic on pornography. So definitely it is not natural. There is no argument about that, and it is a blockage of procreation. But definitely other aspects we need to understand going deeper, the evil of pornography at the current stage. So it is affecting the procreation or unnatural, these are a little secondary, but how the individual gets affected badly, that needs to be understood as far as the vitality conservation is concerned. So pornography is a topic tomorrow, so we'll address that. Right, Pooja has joined. That is the question. Okay, so a routine life is preferable. Okay, now here is a catch, Nandini, a routine life, if you mean to say an imposed disciplined life, that's a problem. But a kind of synced life, effortless life is the objective. And now the routine or discipline, it should be perceived by others as discipline, but it should not be executed by you as discipline. That's very thin line difference, like you may be perceived as a disciplined person, but if you are putting pressure on you to become disciplined, then there is a problem on the vitality. So discipline should emerge like the respect, like the other aspects, but it should not be enforced. So no suppression, but effortlessly unblocking yourself. That's the objective. Okay, so Tulika said a question. Just a second. I got the point that menopause is the physical process, but why some women get menopause at an early age, and for some it's delayed. As you mentioned yesterday that the body is an enclosed system, so does menopause create changes in body and mind, and the vitality in the body goes down after this process is in women? Okay, so Tulika, see, menopause is a response of the body, and it may appear before time for few or after certain time for few, depending upon their vitality executions. So vitality execution may create some toxic state and which may prepone the menopause state. You never know, you cannot term it in general, without going to the specific cases, it cannot be termed in general for sure. I get another question from Sahana, like your point on making life effortless and joyful. Yes. So this effortless life is the key of this whole journey. So we are not here to enforce anything. We are not here to impose any ethics. We are not here to impose any rules. We are not here to impose any discipline. We are here to understand nature and make ourselves assimilated with nature so that our sense of life gets up. It's all selfish. It's all self-directed rather. Self is kind of taken as a negative word, but self-directed is a better word. So it's all self-directed approach. Yes, monarchy is also depending on the vitality, Nandini. Nandini says that similarly, monarchy, similar to the menopause, monarchy also depends on vitality. Absolutely, it depends on the vitality. The kind of vitality responses or executions the individual opts or environment forces forces kind of, though I don't like the word of manipulation, but for the children the manipulation can occur. So so this is a deeper aspect, that peer pressure and all those aspects. Because of that also the monarchy happens before. For example, the pornography aspect that you raised, Nandini, if a child before time is exposed to pornography, then the sexual senses will be aroused before time, before the physical maturation. So that will actually jeopardize the complete system, and the monarchy can happen before time also. So okay, another question from Ranga, is homosex in human really exist in nature? Yeah, biologically it exists in other species as well. It's an unfortunate state of the being, I must say, because statistically it is very less. But if the individual has it, what can be done? Biologically it exists. Biologically the people can have that knack of homosexuality, which will block one of the primary execution of reproduction, which will actually block that individual from executing that particular capability which we have: repair, reproduce and react. So this is a kind of state, like I definitely would not love to be homosexual in my life, and I would have felt myself deprived of executing another capability. As I said previously, I and my life partner both decided not to execute that. That was a foolishness. And when I look back, I find that yes, it was a foolish choice. But definitely we don't repent, because things happen better after that, and that way the things are bettering also. So we have now a beautiful daughter, 3-year-old daughter Montaj. So that way actually things are different. But definitely homosexuality is a kind of different than the natural capability execution. So I was talking about the voice of the organism. So voice of the organism, to understand the voice of the organism, we need to understand the attractions and the reasons. So as I was talking about this particular image of iceberg, all have joined 8, right? So the attraction and the reason both needs to be analyzed to understand this. This is very deeper understanding that these 3 pleasures that we have, the food, sex and trance, these 3 pleasures that we have sketched or programmed by nature. We get attracted towards the food, we get attracted towards sex, we get attracted towards trance state. Trance state is a state of deep concentration, meditative state, and also it can be actually substance abuse. Through substance abuse also it can be attained, through alcohol, drugs. So all these 3 areas of pleasures are sketched for a reason. So the point of attraction and the reason to be analyzed, going deeper, because the this got exhausted, I think, battery. It will take 15 seconds anyway. So this particular area, the top area is very small area, which actually shows these attractions or rejection. But the reason behind it very deeper, and that needs to be explored. So the taste, the sweet taste is attractive, the irritative taste of chili is not attractive. So that kind of notion, just because the sweet taste of apple is good for us, the irritative taste of chili is not good for us. So that thing needs to be analyzed, and we have analyzed it in our intro lecture by going through the origin analysis. So when the stimulus is analyzed for its origin, if it is a natural originated aspects and giving you an attraction, then it is good for you. If it is not natural, then it is not good for us. And as far as the rejection is concerned, irrespective of the origin, we need to just honor it by rejecting. Now for this, the primary tools towards the world, we have these 5: the nose, ear, tongue, skin and eyes. So these 5 senses we know is at the top of it and directing towards the external. But these 5 are not the only voice of the organism, but perennially, initially we are driven by these 5 only, unless we execute the other senses well, right? For example, hunger is a sense that cannot be sensed through these 5 senses. That's an inner sense. That's one of the prominent voice of the organism. Yes, so on the chili, actually, this I get a lot of people claiming that chili is enjoyable for them. Now, if you go psychologically step by step to analyze that response, the physiological response, what we like in the chili, you will be surprised to know that not the sense of the taste of irritation, but the relief from the irritation which is attractive. And it happens simultaneously, and because of which we just feel that the sense of irritation, the taste of irritation is enjoyable. It is the feeling of relief that is enjoyable for us. So that's a falsified claim if somebody claims that taste of irritation, or irritation is our love, because irritation cannot be lovable. Irritation is a stage of disease, you know. So if it is happening from within, that's a process. But if you are welcoming it from the external world additionally, then it's a problem. It's a kind of suicidal attempt. So for the skin, definitely the soft touch is loved, but the warm, the hot thing is not loved. Eyes, the reflection is better. So this particular is a projection. Earlier I used to use that TFT television, which used to have the glares also. I suppose the glaring is not there in this projection. I've checked it earlier also. So so this is a reflection which our eyes actually love, because eyes are meant to look at the reflected opaque light. So source of the light is not liked by the eyes. So this needs to be understood. So what we do, all these gadgets, we make it attractive. So the other day some discussion was going on, and definitely use of iPad or mobile or laptop, these are not recommended in nature cure in particular. Just because I am using, if I claim that this is recommended by nature, this is a wrong approach. So somebody asked, Tulika asked, I think, that my opinion on something. So this course, consciously I design not to put any opinion, because opinion is something else which you execute in your personal life. But when you are up to sketch a framework, that has to be a neutral framework. And that's the whole idea, to identify the nature's aspect without giving a biased opinion for that, just putting it forward. And I tell you at this point, there were, I have experienced in previous batches also, there were many close friends of mine, like they used to be very close to closed association, and due to this fact telling which make people uncomfortable because of their contradictions. So when you are up to in a business of truth, you cannot compromise that person to person, right? So if somebody is justifying the contradictory choice of the life, try and understand, justifying the contradictory choice of the life and expecting that in a formatted course it has to be appreciated, then it's a wrong expectation, right? For example, if one of you wish to expect that I should appreciate your behavior of pornography watching because sometimes it's required kind of attitude, if it is there, and I seeing a relation, I modulate my content of the course, which is supposed to be a neutral content, according to your requirement, then I'm not justifying my profession, I'm not justifying my objective, right? So this has to be understood very dialectically, that our personal choices are something else that cannot be justified under the light of nature cure. So there is no question about sharing any opinion about anything in this particular course. So the eyes are not meant to look at the source of the light which we choose to, we need to reduce it. And I tell you, my the screen time is reduced remarkably over the past few years, and consciously I am reducing. And in particular, my bedroom is absolutely gadget free, and it is meant for sleeping The moment we enter the bedroom, we feel sleepy. Even before that also sometime. So I love my sleep. Right. Now for years the rhythm is loved, but high pitch noise is not loved. For nose, the natural fragrance is loved, but unnatural fragrance is not loved but is fake to be loved with a lot of after effects. So is the taste, you understand? Now this we need to understand, sense of irritation at this level, if we do not find it interesting at this level and we make some combination to cross it inside, then it is devastating inside. And inner you go, deeper you go, the vitality consumption is higher. So which may not be sensed externally. This is very deeper understanding. The external irritation is sensed, but the internal irritation is not sensed, but the vitality consumption is tremendously high in case of it is inside. So in the deeper organs, in the deeper level, at the deeper level, the irritation has got higher impact on the vitality if we compare the external impact of irritation of the vitality. So we need to actually acknowledge that link between attraction and the reason through the understanding of voice of the organism. And as far as the food is concerned, definitely this is the rule: natural, unprocessed, uncooked. So natural, unprocessed, uncooked food is better for us, which is tasty for us. Which is not tasty and comes under this conditions are not good for us. Right. I get a question from Asha. Why is the irritation internally not sensed? Because the body is programmed to give a good feeling all the time. So unless it goes beyond, medically they say that beyond 90% problem inside, it is not surfaced, because body is programmed to give you the better sense always. That is why the internal sense organs, internal organs do not have that sense as we have in the external organs. Now when we calibrate, so there are a few articles that can be, you can ask me personally. I think Asha might have read that. There are two articles written long ago about the calibration of the sense and celebration of the sense. Calibration of the sense is, in this lifestyle our senses get calibrated, and the more calibration it happens, more we sync with nature, we become more and more sensitive. We become more and more sensitive. If you take one day outside food, you will have loose motions immediately, and that's a great vitality execution. It's thrown out the toxin food. Now outside food, I mean to say highly spicy food. So that way, if the internal organs are calibrated well, then we will have that sense as well. But right now we are externally focused a lot in the conventional lifestyle I am talking about. We do not feel that sense that way because it is not calibrated yet. And the moment you become sensitive, you sense that sensitivity, it is a reason to celebrate, nothing else, right? Right. So now see here a kind of kind of analogy that I would like to propose before you. See the attractions, we see that burger one side and fruit other side in terms of food, and in terms of other things like this execution of these devices through which we are connected and we are communicating, we are doing some intellectual activities. So all these things are execution of human intelligence. There is nobody enemy working against us to trigger some pain within us. That's never been an objective by anybody. I repeat, by anybody. So these all things are execution of human intelligence. You see the skull size of human is increasing over the period of time. So as the size increases, the execution of the intellectual capability is also expanding, increasing, and this particular, we all are connected to understand nature, connected through these gadgets and these mediums of execution of human intelligence. We cannot deny these existences, and through which we are trying to sync ourselves with nature. That's the primary objective. Now this is also a product of that human intelligence, that interest to sync with nature. So it's a phase of the evolution we are under. Ultimately the future of the human genre is super amazing. There is no doubt about it. But the turbulences which is occurring in between is a phase. We do a lot of mistakes when we prepare for something. If we prepare it well, then we overcome the mistakes and we pass the exam. Right? So exam, it's an analogical word, the word that I have used. It's not that some specific step that we have to overcome, but we are bettering day by day. So there is nothing pessimistic instances happening around we should consider. Everything is happening. We need to just grow big in our understanding and just try to sync our own life, because syncing our own life doesn't need a lot of things, number one, and it doesn't need to harm anybody. So the first responsibility to sync our life with nature, and the moment we sync our life with nature, we are left with a lot of capabilities, and that capabilities may enhance the complete mankind's life altogether, who knows, as a byproduct, but the primary is the individual better life. So this is a fact, the law of unity is a fact. It's not that a kind of medical practitioner who is prescribing medicine is sitting there to harm you. It never happens that way. It never is the intention of anybody to harm anybody. It is some kind of misunderstanding of life which will address in the specific topic day after tomorrow under the Unison, that this is just an illusion. The conspiracies are illusions. With that note, I'll conclude today's session, and today's this session, and we'll break for lunch on time today now, and 2:30, exact 2:30, we'll resume our final session of topics today, and then evening is the recreational session and a time pass session I call, and with a lot of questions and discussions definitely. So the next session is at 2:30. Stay tuned and join back, and by that time you should keep posting your lunch photos on the group, and evening dinner photos should accompany with the recipes, because people are looking forward for the recipes, and this will be a good repository. Let's see how this can be utilized and recorded. We'll just figure out something. Right? Okay, there are some questions. If I eat food with sugar or oil, I get body aches. Yeah, so you have calibrated your life senses. So I have read somewhere, Tathapi says that I have read somewhere that we consume food, breath and impression throughout the life. What is your opinion on impression? Is impression affect our vitality? Absolutely, it affects. Impression is a thought aspect, and day after tomorrow is a thought aspect. So you should re-raise this question. So impression, how you define impression, that's your assignment today, to define impression. Then I'll take this question again in the next session. I'll answer it more dialectically, right? So now we'll have that 90 seconds silence, and we'll break for lunch. Right, guys? So we'll break for lunch now, and we'll reassemble at 2:30 p.m. Thank you.